Hello, and welcome to the Liberator Method Class 2, Empowering Creative Language. My name is Rhonda Christensen. By now, you've had the opportunity to familiarize yourself with the principles and perspective of my method as taught in Class 1. If you've not yet viewed Class 1, I encourage you to do so before moving forward with Class 2. In Class 1, I briefly mentioned the importance of the accuracy of your words and defined a few of the key words I use regularly. Class 2 will provide you with the tools and the steps necessary to become aware of the agreements that have been operating deep within you, below the level of your conscious awareness. Once you bring these agreements to light, you are empowered to renegotiate them to align with your emerging conscious desires. One last recommendation before we enter the world of words. In Class 1, I introduced the Liberator Method's perspective with 3 statements describing your fundamental nature. I encourage you to commit these to memory. Reciting these elements to yourself regularly as one integrated statement will remind you who you are whenever you find yourself in need of inner support and encouragement. I am a divine being having a human experience. My fundamental nature is unconditional love and creative power. My purpose is to come to know myself as thyself, to awaken to the divinity that I am. I encourage you to commit this statement to memory. That said, let's begin Class 2, Empowering Creative Language. Recall from Class 1, the Liberator Method proclaims that every human being possesses a soul of absolute integrity. Your mind, body, and spirit are literally bound as one to align with deep-seated spiritual contracts. Contracts you may not yet be consciously aware of, although inevitably, once consciously recognized, they will make perfect sense to you. These contracts are operating by default, regardless of whether or not you are aware of them. An efficient way to discover these contracts and bring them to light is through alert attentiveness to your spontaneous, spoken word. You are constantly creating and sustaining the nature of your experience through the words that you speak. Your words accurately determine the structure and form of the experience you are creating for yourself. The problem is, most of us are completely unaware of our powerful role as creators. And the Word was God. This simple spiritual message houses profound truth. Your words, consciously or subconsciously chosen, are your creative vehicle. The Liberator Method will teach you how attention to your word sheds light on the governing rules and laws of your inner agreements. Your words will efficiently lead you to judgments. Mistaken conclusions you've innocently made and continue to assume must be true. You will be in awe of your creative power as you become breathtakingly aware that you are creating, supporting, and sustaining your outer experience through your word, even as you speak. As you choose to align your words with your conscious creative intent, your accuracy of word choice is essential. This class, Empowering Creative Language, will suggest and discuss the value of 3 word accuracy tools: ownership, location, and empowerment. The first tool of accuracy is ownership of experience. This is a simple tool with profound importance. When you own your experience through your words, you reclaim your power and authority to resolve and release it. There are 2 steps to ownership. First, observe the use of third-person language in yourself and others. Third-person language is a literary style in which the author, you in this case, recounts his or her experiences using such forms as he, she, it, and they. For example, the statement, "It hurts when you say that to me," is a third-person account of the experience of hurt or pain. The use of this literary style is largely unconscious and habitual. It is a depersonalization of the experience that serves as a sort of self-protection, keeping the emotion of the experience, in this example, hurt, outside of your body. However, when you are ready and willing to release your experience, ownership is essential. You own the experience by restating the sentence using first-person language. It hurts when you say that to me becomes, I hurt when you say that to me. Ownership of the emotion acknowledges the experience as belonging to you and invites the emotion back into your body, where you empower yourself to resolve and release it. The next tool of word accuracy is acknowledging the location of the experience. When I refer to locating your experience, I am speaking of two dimensions. First, the personal space you are allowing the experience to occupy, as well as the time frame you are permitting the experience to operate within. Accuracy with both dimensions is necessary. Let's begin with the tools to identify the personal space you are allowing the experience to occupy. Begin by observing your use of statements of being. These are I am statements that you inadvertently use to describe your experience. For example, let's look at the statement, I am upset. This statement, in creator language, is an affirmation that actually upholds the identification of your being with the experience of upset. This is not an accurate statement. Recall, from the perspective of the Liberator method, you are a divine being having a human experience. Your fundamental nature is unconditional love and creative power. Upset is simply a human emotion that you, a divine being, are experiencing. When you choose to use the words I am upset to express your experience, you inaccurately, unconsciously define who you are. You literally attach yourself, your very being, to the experience of upset. You claim upset as a part of who you are. As you observe your language and begin to identify these statements of being, the next step is to restate the experience using a statement of feeling or experience. In this example, I am upset, restated becomes, I am feeling upset, I feel upset, or I am experiencing upset. This accurately defines the experience as separate from your fundamental nature. I often remind clients when they are beginning this process to state both the nature of their being and their experience. In other words, I am a divine being having a human experience of feeling upset. Lastly, as you master this language, I recommend you remain present with the experience and define the experience as accurately as your sensitivity of perception allows. Learning to give your undivided attention to the experience redirects your awareness to your body and will eventually guide you to the source of your issue. Accurately affirming the location of the experience in your body validates the existence of your experience. The second dimension of locating an experience is accurate placement of the experience in time. People often habitually speak of their experiences as if they are an ever-present part of who they are and always will be. For example, the statement, I have a hard time letting go, is spoken as if it were a factual, consistent depiction, unchallenged. Empowering your creative language requires you to restate the experience accurately in time, to leave it in the past. The statement, I have a hard time letting go, becomes, in the past, I have experienced myself having a hard time letting go. By accurately defining the time of the experience, you give the experience permission and authorize it to remain in the past, and you open yourself to new future possibilities. Now that we've addressed the word accuracy tools of ownership and location, we're ready to move on to the language of empowerment, choice, and self-awareness. Take a few moments to look at the language of empowerment, the list on the right-hand side of the screen. Yes, no. I will, I won't. I choose to, I don't choose to. I feel, I am experiencing. I think, and my two personal favorites, I get to, and I am open to the possibility. Now let's look at the self-limiting language. I should, I shouldn't. I have to, I ought to, or I've got to. The polarities of right, wrong, bad, better, or worse. Can't, always, never, maybe, or I suppose. Anything, everyone, everything, every time. And two of the most popular favorites, I'll try, and he or she made me, or won't let me. Take a moment and look at the differences between empowerment language and self-limiting language. Allow yourself to feel the difference in the word choices. Consciously choosing to speak the language of empowerment is a small change that brings about dramatic results in self-awareness. I encourage you to take a moment, copy down these empowering words, and commit to shifting your language immediately. Replacing self-limiting language with empowerment language facilitates self-awareness and proclaims your willingness to embrace and be response-able to new creative possibilities. Now to summarize our word accuracy tools. First, ownership language redirects awareness of your experience back to your body. Next, affirming the location of your experience in space validates your experience and separates it from your fundamental nature as a divine being. Accurately defining the experience in time authorizes your experience to remain in the past and opens new creative space. And finally, replacing self-limiting language with the language of empowerment proclaims your willingness to embrace and be responsible to new creative possibilities. The process of learning to accurately define your experience in this manner is a process of accountability and responsibility to your word choice that will bring about awareness of your awesome creative potential. The Buddha stated, "The thought manifests as the word manifests as the deed develops into habit, and habit hardens into character. So watch the thought and its ways with care, and let it spring from love, born out of concern for all beings." The Liberator method watches the word with attentive care. Watching the word will reveal disempowering subconscious thoughts, empowering you to choose differently.